This character is level 1, and I've only killed a couple of bandits so far, but he's about to take on his first giant camp. He can't quite one-shot them yet, but that will come pretty soon, and honestly, for level 1, he's able to take them out pretty easily. Now in vanilla Skyrim this would be really impressive, but we're not playing vanilla Skyrim. We're playing a mod overhaul list called LoreRim. LoreRim is a Wabbajack mod list for Skyrim Anniversary Edition that brings together nearly 4,000 of the best mods that the Skyrim modding community has to offer. These include Requiem, LoreRim, thousands of graphical mods, new content mods, and a deep system overhaul that touches nearly every aspect of the game. The result is a beautiful expanded Skyrim with a much more brutal and unforgiving difficulty curve. Now, a day goes by that I don't see new players for this mod list asking how to get past the early game difficulty curve in the LoreRim Discord. The common advice is to grind out missive quests until you reach about level 10. Missives are basically delivery quests. Go pick up a letter or a package in one city, travel to another city, deliver it, and get paid in experience and gold. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't install an epic fantasy role-playing game to waste several days of my life role-playing as a lowly courier. I'm the hero of this story, and I want to go out and take down baddies and liberate them of their loot. So if you're one of those players struggling with the early game in LoreRim, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how I built the most absurdly overpowered build that LoreRim has ever seen. At level 1, we're one-shotting giants. Once we've had our fill of giants, bandits, and trolls, we'll move on to one-shotting dragons and even dragon priests. If you hadn't already guessed based on the footage, this build centers around Lycanthropy and min-maxing around werewolf form. There are a few key interactions between the Lycanthropy perk tree and the systems present in LoreRim that give this character its absurd damage. First off, werewolves do not benefit from gear. When you shapeshift, you are essentially naked and all of your stats are derived from passive bonuses. If you cast a spell or drink a potion that has a duration, those will still affect you while in werewolf form, but all of your shiny armor and weapons do nothing while shifted. Second, werewolves count as being unarmed. The game treats werewolf attacks the same as punching someone with your fists while not in werewolf form. Therefore, any bonuses to unarmed damage will also scale your werewolf damage, and this is where some of the absurdly high numbers come from. Third, since werewolves don't benefit from gear, they get a massive bonus to health, stamina, and stamina regeneration to compensate. This is offset by the fact that they don't get the benefit of armor or magical resistance from gear, unless you can find a way to passively boost them, of course. Fourth, shapeshifting has a 1 minute 30-second cooldown, and there is no way to get around that cooldown, so if you're thinking about shifting, dealing some damage, then quickly swapping back to humanoid form to drink a potion, you're going to have to wait a minute and a half to get back to werewolf form. That might not seem like a lot of time, but trust me, it can feel like an eternity, and during that time you'll be very vulnerable. Because of this, we prefer to stay shifted at all times during combat, and that means finding a way to passively heal. Most characters pick up werewolf form sometime during the mid-game, and they don't really build their character around it, so it doesn't feel all that powerful. But when you build your character from the ground up with werewolf form in mind, it becomes absurdly strong. By the mid-game, while our character is shifted, he will have over 1,100 health, 500 or greater stamina and crazy regeneration, 80% or higher chance to dodge attacks, 800 plus armor, which is a soft cap, full magical immunity, and yes, I do mean 100% magical immunity, spells just don't do anything to this character at all, and a bare minimum of 30 base health regeneration per second, which you can boost to well over 120 regen per second by taking a fortify health regen potion before shifting. And finally, of course, the main draw of this video, tens of thousands of damage per attack. And by the way, yes, this is my first dragon kill on this character. This is after my initial power leveling spree, and even though the damage you see here is already absurd, trust me, it goes much, much higher with better investment. So now that we've gone over the summary for this character, let's dive into character creation and I'll show you how to build this monster. When it comes to race selection, Argonian really is the clear winner, and it's kinda not even close. This is primarily because they get plus 15 to unarmed damage in addition to some other nice bonuses, like high resistances to poison and disease, water breathing and extremely fast swim speed, and a passive 1 health regeneration per second, which won't matter too much once we get our god selected, but it is nice whenever you're first starting. For our birth sign, we take the warrior. Warrior provides 50 extra health, 5% armor penetration, but most importantly, extra unarmed damage. For our major starting skills, we take Evasion, One-Handed, and Wayfarer. Evasion and One-Handed are pretty obvious. Evasion gives bonuses while wearing light armor or no armor, and One-Handed is where the unarmed perk tree is at. And in LoreRim, werewolf attacks scale with either your one-handed or two-handed skill, whichever is higher. Wayfarer in LoreRim replaces the lockpicking skill, and we take it for the Lone Wolf branch that gives a bunch of bonuses to our character as long as we don't have a follower. These include magic resist, free armor, and damage, which works with our werewolf form. Now yes, this does mean that we won't have any followers with us, and it is kind of a bummer. But honestly, the couple of times I had to take people with me for quests, I ended up hitting them and downing them pretty much instantly, or just outright killing them. Like I got a Thane a couple of times and they just sort of died because they stood in front of me. The downside of having a massive AoE cleaving attack that does tens of thousands of damage is that, yeah, you one-shot your companions pretty easily. Plus, the Lone Wolf side of the Wayfarer skill tree, it's literally called Lone Wolf, and we're a wolf. Like, it makes sense. For minor skills, we're picking up Alchemy, Finesse, Speech, Alteration, Conjuration, and Sneak. Using magic to pre-buff is 100% not necessary, and I don't really do it until very late game, but you can do it if you want to. It gives you even more armor and damage, but it's not really a priority early on. Finesse provides some decent passive buffs, including some armor, some magic resist, and some unarmed damage. Alchemy provides a ton of passive buffs and allows us to make Fortify health regen, Fortify one-handed, and Fortify unarmed, all of which stack up to give us more damage and health regeneration, plus whatever other potions you think might be helpful to take before combat. For reference, I think the best Fortify health regen potion you can probably make is somewhere around 400%, and with the god power we're going to get, that's going to turn our health regen from like 30 to 40 health per second up to 120 plus. Speech gives some nice bonuses to our shouts, making them more powerful and last longer, and there are some shouts that give pretty good buffs that we can cast before we go into werewolf form. Speech also obviously gives us better prices with haggling, and in the most recent version of LoreRim that's going to be even more important because the economy has gotten severely nerfed. And finally, Sneak is just kind of nice to have. I couldn't really find anything that was that beneficial for this character. There might be some nice things in some of the other magical trees, it's really up to you. While you're leveling, you'll want to prioritize first your 3 major skills and then Finesse and Alchemy. The other stuff is really just kind of secondary and nice to have, like getting an infinite storage box through deep storage and alteration, or maybe some extra armor through conjuring Daedric armor. I've not actually tried that, but I assume that if you conjure Daedric armor for yourself, it will last through shapeshifting. But I'm not sure, I haven't actually gotten that far with this character, and honestly doesn't really need it. Next, let's talk about traits. In LoreRim, you can select 2 traits during character creation. Every trait has both a massive upside and a big downside. For our first trait, we take Unbound Hands. This gives a massive plus 30 bonus to unarmed attacks so long as we aren't wearing anything on our hands. For the second trait, we take Gambler. The Gambler gives 50% chance to crit but reduces your damage by 40%. However, every time you land a crit, your damage increases by 10%, stacking up to 5 times, which means we get a total of 110% more damage, assuming we have all 5 stacks. We also obviously select the Werewolf Start from the Destiny Dragon guy. Before we step out into the wide world, we get 3 free perks to assign as we see fit. We're going to invest all 3 of these into the One-Handed tree. Those will go into Weapon Master for 20% bonus damage, Hand to Hand for a plus 25 to unarmed damage, and Penetrating Strikes for the armor penetration and reduced power attack stamina cost. And with that, we step out into the world. So the Werewolf Start is a bit odd. It spawns you somewhere randomly during the nighttime and forces you to immediately transform. And this first transform is a bit buggy. It tends to kind of shift you back really quickly for some reason. In my case, it started me out at Ancient's Ascent, which is cool. That gives us part of the Predator's Might Shout, which is got a nice passive bonus that gives increased stamina and health when used. We can't make use of this right now, but later on it's quite nice. Behind the word wall, you can also find a nice sword and shield, which we really can't use ourselves, but we can definitely sell for a whole bunch of gold. To leave Ancient's Ascent, we have to go down through a cave, and inside we find some saber cats and some random corpses, all of which are a welcome feast for our new werewolf. And with that, I have my first 2 werewolf perk points. The first goes into Bestial Strength, which is required to access the rest of the tree and gives a moderate damage bonus, while the second goes into Animal Vigor and gives stamina and damage resist. Traveling north out of the mountains, we find ourselves in the wilderness of Falkreath, and by chance I stumbled upon a Shrine of Hircine. Very fitting given that he is literally the Daedric god of the hunt and the werewolf god. Unfortunately, I don't have the 100 coin required to get a blessing and convert to him right now, so I'll look around for some bandits to relieve of their coin. In the process, I get another werewolf perk, which I immediately put into roadkill. This allows you to do a sprinting power attack which deals damage equal to your stamina, which is guaranteed to critically hit. I'm not 100% sure, but I think the unarmed damage bonuses we have stack with this. Anything that boosts power attack damage is also obviously going to boost this. You can kind of see where this is going. You can have a massive stamina pool combined with a huge unarmed damage bonus, damage scaling from werewolf form, damage scaling from power attacks, and suddenly we're dealing tens of thousands of damage per attack. With the loot I obtained from several bandits, I can now dedicate my character to Hircine. Hircine gives you up to a 60% damage bonus depending how high the target's health is, scaling down until it reaches a 0% bonus at 50% health for the target. This is really useful in the early game before we have other perks to carry our damage, but in the late game it won't really matter too much, we won't need it. We're just going to go with Mara because she gives us a passive health regen. As I was making my way down south, wishing I had a horse, trying to get towards Whiterun because that's where I know that all the bandits and giants and stuff are at, wouldn't you know it, the game decided to give me a poor lady riding a horse, and unfortunately, what happens in werewolf form stays in werewolf form, so yeah, she's gonna get killed and eaten, and then I'm gonna steal her horse as well. So the next part of this video is basically just a very, very long montage of my character eating and killing a whole lot of people and animals and giants and pretty much anything I can find that's not gonna like break the world by having me kill it. So as soon as I got to Whiterun, I cleared out the Halted Stream camp, the Silent Moons camp, the White River Watch, Bleakwind Basin and Sleeping Tree camp, both the giant camp you saw me clearing earlier, and also a giant troll camp full of level 20 to 40 trolls that gave a whole bunch of experience. I didn't bother doing any quests or anything during this period because I just wanted to get as many kills as I could, as much experience as I possibly could while I was level 1, and because I'm playing on survival mode, eventually my character will have to sleep because he'll be too tired to keep fighting, but I wanted to get as much progress done as I possibly could before having to sleep to make as much use of my low level and the difference between my level and the enemy's level as I possibly could. Basically, power leveling my character as fast as I could into the 20s. When I finally slept after about a 3-hour long rampage, my character power leveled all the way to level 23. I'm confident that if you know the map better and you know of better experience spots than I do, you could probably do even more than this. I bet like an experienced player could manage to get to level 30 on their first sleep. But hey, I figure level 1 to 23 is not bad for a noob like me. Also, like, I could list all the werewolf perks in order that you should take and everything, but honestly, like, this character is so strong, just take all the damage and damage reduction perks you possibly can, make sure you max out the roadkill stuff. Oh, and make sure you get the one that gives you health back whenever you eat stuff, because you're not going to have any passive healing in the beginning. Though you could just go to Riften and dedicate yourself to Mara, and that will give you a passive 30 health per second, which is probably what I should have done early on, but I was kind of lazy. I didn't want to use a carriage to fast travel there, which would have made my character tired. Then I would have had less time to level up, so I just kind of stuck with Hircine and was just really careful. You're going to pretty quickly be able to max out the werewolf tree. I think there must be a soft cap, and you have to kind of choose between 1 or 2 perks at the very end. I chose to not pick up the one that stops the silver hand people from spawning because, I mean, even though they're dangerous, they're also level 40 and they're free experience and gold, so why would I want to stop the free experience from spawning at me every time I exit a location? I mean, they do lead to some really interesting situations sometimes because they tend to follow you into cities and they'll just like spawn inside a Whiterun and just start annihilating the entire population because they're hostile towards everyone, not just you. When you get attacked by them, people will assume that you're being attacked unlawfully and they'll try to kill them. So a couple of times I had Farkas and other people from Companions kind of beat up some silver hand people for me. It was pretty hilarious. And also, like, you can't transform inside a city because that would give you a bounty and stuff, so it does lead to some inconvenient situations, but that's quite rare, so on the whole it's kind of a net positive in my book. So here's what I invested into on my first 23 levels when I leveled up all at once. So I could go over every skill that I take here, and it would just take forever to go through that. I will show the whole thing, but I'm just going to give you more of a priority on what to take on each level. So obviously you want to prioritize your 3 main skills, which are evasion, one-handed, and Wayfarer, those are going to be the ones you want to take every level. And then with any points you have extra, I would say probably Finesse and Alchemy are the next two. Finesse provides some nice buffs to your armor penetration, your armor, your unarmed damage, and I think some magic resist as well. Alchemy provides some nice passive buffs and allows you to make potions, so those are both good. After that, maybe Speechcraft and then your Alteration and Destruction. Speechcraft is kind of nice, but like none of these are really that necessary, and I didn't really end up using Alteration all that much, though it is nice if you want to use Feather Walking later on, if you decide to go and do the Dwarven quest line and get the crown, the Ethereum crowns, so you can have some nice mana regen, then you can just feather walk everywhere and go really fast. It's also nice for having deep storage, though you're going to have some serious investment on your mana or some really powerful enchantments that give you a whole bunch of magicka, because it's very difficult to cast if you haven't been investing in your magicka, and our character doesn't. We invest in stamina. That's pretty much it. Just mainly invest in those skills, and you can do whatever else with the rest. I ended up kind of just power leveling up my Alteration Destruction by paying for a bunch of training, because I had something like 500,000 gold by level 55, but that's getting nerfed in the next version of LoreRim, if it's not already nerfed, so probably will have less. But again, the magical stuff is not necessary at all. You don't have to do it. For attributes, I would say just stack stamina, because that roadkill ability we have in Werewolf, which is our big one-hit ability, that is based on your stamina, so every point of stamina is going to increase your base damage for that, and that gets multiplied by a whole bunch of power attack damage, and that's how we do the big 10,000 plus damage. Theoretically, there is no ceiling to that. You could keep stacking stamina indefinitely. Unfortunately, you can't benefit from things like having stamina on a ring or something, but you do get a bonus if you do a fortify stamina potion or use food, which is why we take the perks that give us better food buffs. I don't think I ever showed it here, but the final form of my character before my save file, I think, got kind of corrupted, and I had to stop playing. I could try to go back and find where it got corrupted and try to pick up from that point, but at this point, it's probably 5 or 6 hours back, and I'm just kind of bummed out and don't want to deal with it. But before that happened, my character had topped out after using Predator's Might and every buff I could find at about 1,000 stamina, and that makes for some crazy damage. I mean, that stamina alone before anything else with just the guaranteed crit is going to mean that you do 2,000 damage base. You add all the unarmed damage on top of that, and all the power attack and other damage multipliers, which are all multiplicative with each other, and yeah, it's no wonder this character can do upwards of 20k or more damage per hit. So that's our first 23 levels for skill points. Now let's talk about perks. So what we're going to do here is pump up our one-handed. There's a bunch of stuff that increases your melee damage and your power attack stuff, and we're just going to take pretty much all of it. So this is good. This is fine. We're not going to take any kind of focus here because we're doing unarmed, obviously. But this one is just more power attack damage and crit chance, so that's obviously good. This one's pretty good as well, but it only works whenever you're not in werewolf form, so it's not really worth it for us because we only fight in werewolf form typically. Flurry, though, is more crit chance, so sure, just like have crits all the time pretty much. Though, honestly, you get into kind of the point where you almost have too much. This is 50% more dual wield power attack, poise damage, and 25% more power attack damage, so yes, we'll take that. And over here, let's see what we have. Stagger by 50% chance and disarm by 10%. It's okay. Knockdown's not that great. 15% less physical damage taken for each hand empty is kind of amazing. That's 30% damage reduction that we get. That's kind of awesome. Movement speed and mass when both hands are empty. That's kind of awesome. Means we're going to get knocked around less, and we're going to get 10% more movement speed. That's great. Definitely go for that. So that's our one-handed sorted for now. Let's go into evasion here. We're not going to worry about dodging because we're in werewolf and we're just fast. We just kind of move. So let's see. Having no weight on your body grants you extreme precision and reflexes. So when we're in werewolf form, we're going to have 20% chance to avoid physical damage, 5% move speed, and 10% armor penetration. That will apply when we are in there, so we'll definitely do that. We don't care about this too much, but honestly, it's just kind of in the way. It's like on the way to what we need to get, so we'll go ahead and do that. We have to take all of these various perks to eventually get up to the meteoric reflexes, which is what I really want in here. So we just kind of have to take all these for now. They're not like that useful for us, but they're just kind of prerequisites for what we need later on. So that's everything we need in evasion for now. We're going to have 70% chance to evade, and then we get, I believe, another 10% chance from the destiny tree, so we're going to have a lot of evade chance. Wayfarer, this is where we dump our companion. We're going to pick up Cheap Tricks and then go down the Lone Wolf side over here. That's going to give us magic resist and a bunch of armor. More regen. Elemental resist. And later on we get 10% more damage. So we're going to pump that all the way up to its fullest that we can. In Finesse, there's a line that is basically enhancing your body. And it gives you some very nice stuff, like you get armor rating and armor penetration and unarmed damage. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up to a lot whenever you're a werewolf. So we'll go ahead and take this and then go down this path here. And we'll take both of these. Every bit of unarmed damage that we get is kind of amazing, and the same for armor rating. Every bit we get is kind of amazing because we don't get any from our gear, so have to rely on that completely. More health, stamina, and magic regen. That's great. And the last one over here is for our shouts, and that's going to be nice as well. We also get 10% more resist to elements and magic. Lucky 7 is the other one that we're going to want. This requires 77, but we can't get it quite yet. But it's going to give us 21% elemental resist per 5,000 gold that we carry, maxed out at 35k. So we get 21% to all elemental resistance. That's great. We're definitely go down that line as well, but for now it doesn't really matter, so we're going to skip that. That'll be for the future. We're going to take both points in Drunken Combatant. We're going to drink before we get into werewolf form and make sure we stay drunk. This is just a 20% more damage multiplier. We'll also take the Gourmet perk as well to make our food buffs even stronger. We're going to be making Bestial Stew, which means that we get a 3 stamina per second buff on that. Though it's not that big of a deal because werewolf form already has kind of insane stamina regen, but it'll be nice whenever we're running around not in werewolf form. We're also going to be taking stuff in the alchemy tree over here. There's a bunch of passive buffs like Fortified Muscle, which gives us more resilience to harm, and that just is like a damage reduction thing. I think it's maybe just like, I think this is not really correct. I think this maybe just gives you like 100 or 50 stamina and health. This one gives you more regeneration. I'm not sure exactly how much, but it is more. It's more is always good. But that's going to be all of our points for now for that. And then we're going to go into our custom skills as well and pick some stuff here. Got 1 point here, it looks like. Only 1, huh? Should be more than that, I would think, but I guess you can only get 1 for the first night. I guess we have to wait for the next one. Apparently, like, it kind of bugs out if you level up a whole bunch at once. It's like it's a known bug. So if you power level like I did, you have to wait until the next level up before you get access to your extra destiny points. But it should be 1 every 5 levels. So like at level 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. And then you get 1 at level 1. Obviously, you have to take this one. We go down this line for Constitution, Health Regen, Warrior. We have to take that one as well. We're going to take Magic Shell. Now, if you don't want to become magic immune, I would say, I guess, don't take this because it seems to be a bug right now. But if you do want to become magic immune and you're not, don't care about exploits, I guess, then whatever, take it. I was not intending to do that when I took it. I just assumed it would help me along the way. Now, I went up through here and took Battle Spirit. This just gives 10% more damage, which every percent increase more damage we get is actually a huge numerical number because we're doing so much damage already. So 10% more damage is actually like 1 to 2,000 more damage per hit. Kind of crazy. Stamina regen we don't really care about. Smash is nice though. Again, we get 10% more damage here, so, you know, that's going to be like, again, 10% more damage. And the last one in this line is Berserker, and honestly, it's not that good. Taking 25% less damage while power attacking, and the stamina usage on power attacks is reduced. We don't really care about this. Like, either one, we're already tanky enough, and we already have plenty of stamina reduction and plenty of stamina regen, so we don't really care that much. Which is why I'd recommend, you know, like, going over here and taking that magic shell instead, because we don't need that one all that much. You could also go up here and take this iron skin, but I hate that this is like a temporary thing. It's every 10 seconds you get 150 bonus armor for 6 seconds. Like, I hate that perk. I really don't like that. I hate temporary armor buffs like that. And it's also kind of a small amount, and we already have so much evasion and so much damage reduction, just like flat damage reduction. Like, it doesn't seem like it's really that important. So yeah, it's not really a great point for anything besides Magic Shell. Like, this really is like the best thing you could take. I guess you could go over into this. More damage, but we're already doing so much damage. Does it really even matter that they have armor? I mean, I think we already have pretty much 100% armor penetration. Doing bleed damage over 5 seconds is kind of cool. There is some synergy with that, with something else in the build, but it really doesn't matter all that much. I don't know, there's just not like much to take here besides what I've already talked about. If you can figure out something better, then go for it, I suppose. But yeah, like, I went up to Smash and then stopped over here. That's, let me see. We've got, so this would be level 1, level 5, level 10, level 15, level 20, level 25, and then level 30. So yeah, that'd be all your points then. I'd be so much happier if this was just like 100 flat armor. If it was 100 flat armor, I would say, sure, I'll take this instead of taking the free 10% magic resist. But it's not. It's, you know, it's only up some of the time. So anyway, those are Destiny points. That's what I would take. So from this point on, I don't really have like an actual guide for the rest of the video. Like, this is just kind of like general leveling advice. I just kind of like played the game after this, you know, like I went and joined the companions and did quests and did the Skyrim stuff that every Skyrim player enjoys doing. I do remember that I had to go and pick up Mara as a god because while I was doing Meridia's quest, the enemies there cannot be eaten. Like, you can eat most things as a werewolf and get health back, but that quest in particular spawns like 1,000,000 ghosts that have bows with quicksilver and silver arrows and silver weapons, and those hurt a lot as a werewolf. And although I was eating what I could, like, you're not supposed to be able to eat these guys, but if you spam the E button fast enough, you can eat them, but it's like not enough to keep you sustained, really. So yeah, this was the point where I decided, okay, it's time for me to go and talk to Mara. I'm gonna ditch Hircine and go with Mara, and the thing with Mara is that Mara gives you a 3% health per second, and it's 3% of your total health. It works all the time. So because my werewolf has, like, you know, over 1,000 health, that turned into 30 plus health per second, and whenever you get fortify health regen going on a potion, you can get like 4 or 5 times that, which ends up being an absurd amount, like 120 to 150 health per second, and that's a crazy amount even for a werewolf. I'm not saying it'll heal you through absolutely anything. You're not going to be immortal. Like, if a whole bunch of Silver Hand elites are smacking you with silver weapons, they can probably still kill you. But as long as you're not like actively trying to see if you can die, you should be fine. So this is like after a bunch of levels, doing some quests and stuff, taking on some Falmer. I was starting the Dwarven line, even though like there's no point in me getting the Ethereum armor because I'll never use it. I mean, it's a quest, you know, it's a bunch of locations to clear, so hey, why not? And you can see I've got like a ton of Chaurus, or however you say their names, that they're poisoned on me. It doesn't matter, just I think my character is just like immune to poison. I'm not exactly sure how it works. It's weird because like my character's ratio is poison immunity, but I'm pretty sure as a werewolf we get a debuff to poison. but I guess we still are immune to it in the end because we're not getting paralyzed and we're not taking any damage, so it's fine. But yeah, easily able to out-heal all the damage they do. Like, it's laughable. Here's a dragon and like a dragon shade, dragon priest, not really sure what the heck this is, but anyway, like I pretty much just one-shot him. And I would have one-shot the dragon, but I didn't get a sprinting attack on him at first because he snuck up on me while I was fighting the other guy. But the damage resist here, the magic resist, is not quite at 100% yet, but I mean, it's pretty close, and it's laughable. Like, there's no way these guys could ever kill me. I would just heal through it with my passive regen, and yeah, now they're dead. Here's a dragon priest guy, I think. This is a dragon priest, right? Otar the Mad. I don't know my lore that well in LoreRim, man. Like, that's probably a crime, but sorry, it's how it is. Anyway, he's dead. And by the way, once you've got some investment into light armor and you're wearing like some decent light armor and stuff, and you got some decent investment on one-handed, you can definitely like fight stuff out of werewolf form. Like, you don't have to be in werewolf form. It's a lot easier and quicker, but sometimes it's more of a pain in the butt to be in werewolf form all the time because, like, you know, there's the big downside is like some chests can't be opened properly. Like, they don't have a proper interact thing. Even though you're supposed to be able to just like roar at them to unlock them, it doesn't work that way. Same thing for doors a lot of times. And as well, like, you won't get quest items while you're in werewolf form if you're looting somebody, so you'll be like, where's the key for this thing? Oh, it's on one of the 50 corpses I've already looted back there. I have to go back through the entire dungeon to find where this key is. So yeah, a little bit annoying here and there, but like, it's a lot less annoying than, you know, getting sent back to spawn because you died like a scrub for the 50th time in the run. I only died like once or twice in this entire run. It was entirely due to my overconfidence and my own like being stupid. If I started again with the knowledge that I have now on a brand new game, I definitely feel confident that I could do this in a permadeath run. Like, there's still some chance of dying. I mean, high level enemies with silver weapons can definitely do some damage to you, but besides that, you're probably not gonna die. Which, you know, it makes sense. The werewolf's one weakness is silver, so silver-clad wielding foes, that's gonna be your biggest danger. But even them, it's not like you can't fight them, it's just you have to respect them and be careful. These are the high-level Daedra you have to fight before getting Azura's Star, which, again, like, pretty easy. They are really tanky, but I mean, the damage that I took was very laughable. Wasn't really a big deal. I also couldn't really get off a good sprinting power attack here. There's this random dragon that I saw way up on this mountain, but I guess he like heard that I was one-shotting dragons because he wouldn't come down. Even when I raided his word wall, he still just sat up there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna do a Dark Souls plunging attack on this jerk. I'm gonna plunging attack, do a sprinting power attack from like 50 feet up. But yeah, then I missed. But thankfully, like, because I have highlight armor skills and stuff, I didn't take very much damage. And then eventually he landed and then yeah, he died. Then there was this jerk who just kept yelling my name over and over again, but just refused to land. Biggest troll dragon ever in existence. But, you know, eventually he got tired, and then I one-shot him. Oh yeah, and just in case somebody calls me a liar, because I said in the beginning that this character becomes totally magic immune, well, you can see down the bottom my stat bar. The one that says 102, that's my magical resist, and it's at 102%, so we are beyond, well, we're well beyond the cap, and we're into the over 100% resist territory. Like, we're just totally immune to magic at this point. I don't know how that works. I think it's to do with like werewolves getting some passive amount of magic resist per like level or something that you're a werewolf. I'm not sure how that goes exactly. And then on top of that, like, it probably caps out at like 75 or 85%. And then on top of that, we're getting stuff from other perks and the Destiny tree, which add on top of it. Though I'm not sure how it actually comes about to the 102 number, because I thought the cap was 85. And if I have 20 normally and then I have 85 after that, like if I have 20 passively and then werewolf form adds 85, you'd think I'd be at 105. I don't know. It's weird, guys. It's buggy. Definitely is not intended, and I wasn't intending to become immune to magic. I just wanted to get as high as I could. My assumption going in with this character was that I was going to have to cap my magic and elemental resist through potions, which is one of the main reasons I went with alchemy, but it turns out I don't need alchemy at all, and I don't even need the other perks that give me elemental resist because we're just magical immune somehow. But I'm sure that'll be patched. I'm sure that's a problem. That's an actual exploit, and it wasn't intended on my part. but it just kind of happened. And I still have not taken this character as far as it can go. Like, there's a level 100 or skill 100 one-handed perk point that should give us double damage again. It should give us more than double damage. I think it's going to be like 150% more damage we can do with additional perks, and then whatever the raw skill gain from like level 85 to 100 would give us. It just takes a long time to get to one-handed cap on this character because I can only level it by 1 level per character level at this point, and it would take me until like level 50 or something stupid to get to max level on it. I was going to try and get that, and I wanted to actually see if I could one-shot Mirak because I think this build could probably do it. Unfortunately, I think I screwed up my save file. I'm pretty sure I saved too quickly after exiting a location. Everyone always says to wait 30 seconds after transitioning zones in LoreRim, otherwise you can corrupt your save file, and I'm pretty sure that's where I screwed up. And unfortunately, every time I try to load my save file now, it just crashes. And if I want to play it again, I'd have to go back about 5 or 6 hours. And honestly, I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish with this build, and I've gotten the footage I really need to. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this build, I think. But yeah, 100% this build can probably tear apart all the other bosses in the game with no problem at all. It's magic immune, it's nearly immune to melee and physical damage, and it does incredible damage and has incredible regeneration. So all around, just, I would say, the most overpowered build that exists in LoreRim right now, as far as I'm aware. I haven't seen anything that's more powerful than this. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I have one more bonus fight for you guys that I'll leave you with. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.
The time has come. I have done all that can be done. There is nothing left. No quests to be undertaken, no villains to be slain, no challenges to face. Except for you. You are my last challenge. Only you can send me to Sovngarde with honor. Make your preparations. When you're ready, come find me at my last vigil.
You know where to find me.
The time has come. Make your preparations. When you're ready, come find me at my last vigil.
You know where to find me.
What was that?
On here!
Hello? Who's there?
I am the warrior.
At last, Sovngarde.